Hey everybody, this is Ryan from Sailing Freestyle, and I forgot to make a witty pre-intro clip. It's Thanksgiving here in America, so happy Thanksgiving to all you Americans out there, to all you other people from other countries. Just happy stuff.
All right, one of the biggest things I've been wanting to do to this boat is redoing all the deck hardware. A lot of the stuff just really didn't make sense to me the way it was laid out. Especially things like this, like these jam cleats. They're freaking terrible. So yeah, this is all coming out. Like everything, even this is coming out. I'm gonna move these. And I also got these PXR, these Spinlock PXR rope clutches. We're gonna do a series of those across, so we can have a bunch of different lines coming down. I also got the deck organizers, and so yeah, this is gonna end up looking like a real sailboat after I'm done. But first things first, let's get rid of all the old stuff. Alright guys, it is really starting to get cold here in New England. We're at about a high of 34 today. Daylight's getting short, so I really think this is probably going to be our last big project on the boat, but at least we're able to knock it off and call it done. Look at how pretty that looks, all rigged up. All those nice lines and everything's nice and organized. So yeah, why don't we take a tour and show you what the final result ended up being. All right, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll do a little bit of first-person action. All right, here we are with everything all rigged up. We got the deck organizers, which I believe I'm gonna actually replace these little ropey things for some bungee action, because while the ropes are cool and all, it'd be nice and tight if I look. See how easy that came off. If we had a little bit of bungee instead of the rope. So anyways, we got those here. We got some more over there. Now, everything is forward of the winches, which I think makes a whole lot more sense. But I mean, I am a noob, so what makes sense to me maybe doesn't make sense to others. But it makes a whole lot more sense to have everything forward of your winches, because when we had them aft, like I did before, you'd winch up your sheet. And you'd cleat off here, but now your winch is tied up and you can't do anything about it. So now you can, winch up your sheet or your halyards or winch whatever the frig you want, and then you can take it off the winch and you're still cleated up here, and you can put something else on the winch if need be. So anyways, that's the whole concept of having everything forward of the winches. I kept the jib sheets on the swivel, that way if you're way back here and you need to do something to the other winch, it'll line itself up with you like that. So here we go. We got the PXR. What do they call these things? PXR spin lock. They're cam cleats, but they act more like a rope clutch, like on bigger sailboats. So we got 3 PXR cam cleats here. You can adjust the amount of tension it takes to unlock them with this little nub action. And then we got our swivel cam, like I said, is for the jib sheets. So starting from left to right, we got our jib halyard here. Second up, we've got, goes up to the Cunningham, so now we can adjust the tension on the luff of our mainsail. And then we have the brand newly installed boom vang. The boom vang I made just with a couple of fiddle blocks I was able to score off eBay for a good deal. We can adjust the tension on that. Can you even see any of that moving? Let's loosen that up. Let's make that like all loosey-goosey. Let's see if we can get some tensioning action on video. Yeah, maybe that. Whatever. Well, anyways, you get the idea. I'm sure all of you know how boom vang works. So yeah, halyard, Cunningham, boom vang, jib sheet. And on the other side here, same setup. Winch, 3 PXR cam cleats, and your swivel cam all the way to starboard for the jib sheet. And I keep the jib sheet starboard because I feel like that's maybe what you'd be winching the most. So you'd probably want that to line up with the appropriate side on your winch more than anything else. Plus it just looks good being all symmetrical. Anyways, so here, this line, we've got the main reef line now that runs aft. Before it kind of just ran to on the mast, but now you can actually pull the reef line down and it will all taut up from here. So that's your reef line. Next one over is the dagger board up and down haul. And then we've got your main halyard here, and then the jib sheet. So I think it's pretty cool. I think these are all the lines I think I will ever need to control the sailboat. All running aft to the cockpit area. So we should be able to single hand this boat and not need wifey's help, and just go out for a little day sail by myself too. Everything runs aft, everything is controllable back here. Not to mention, just look how sexy this looks. What else am I missing? Well, yeah, in order to do some of these lines, what did I modify here? All right, to grab the Cunningham and the main reef line, I needed some blocks at the end of the mast. So these, again, found on eBay. I forget what I paid for them. I got them dirt cheap. They hold a smaller 1/4-inch line, but you don't really need anything bigger than that for reefing in a Cunningham line. You know, they're not the these kind of blocks, but they work just as well. Again, I wanted to not spend a lot of money. I picked these up. I think I paid $30 for the pair, and they do just fine. The other thing I had to grab was because the boom vang, and I'm not sure I like this because this will slide around when you tack and jibe, which I'm not too big on that. So I got to find a better way to attach this. Maybe do a pad eye on this or something. But anyways, because the line from the boom vang had to eventually come over here, I didn't want it pulling this direction. I wanted it to kind of pull straight back. So I got it coming to a cheek block and then going that way, just to kind of reduce the amount of pull in a single direction. So those were basically all I did. And then we got obviously the deck organizers too on each side. Those were brand new, but you saw footage of that. That I also, this I bought for something else. I forget what I bought it for. Oh, I think when I was redoing the dagger board, I didn't pay attention to the sides, so I had this kicking around, and I was able to throw this here for the Cunningham line to kind of, you know, come at it from a different angle. But yeah, there you go, guys. Everything nice and pretty. Just there's something about sailboats and lines and the, I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I a whack job? I mean, you look at a sailboat and you look at all these lines, and it's just, they're like works of like art. And yeah, just tell me that just doesn't look 100 times better than it did before. Just visually, it looks better, 100 times better. Not to mention functionality, it works 100 times better. And yeah, it's me. This is the way it should have been laid out from the beginning. But you know, 1989, maybe things were different, and they were also making this a budget model boat, so they probably didn't want to put all kinds of fancy bells and whistles on there. But the good thing about getting a free boat is you get to put all the bells and whistles on the other yourself and not really break the bank. Speaking of breaking the bank, this whole project did cost me, for those who are asking about prices, it's about $500 to get everything I needed to do this whole setup over again like that. But if you ask me, well worth it. One of the most important things I thought I needed to do was update all this running rigging hardware here. And now that one is checked off the list. So two biggest things so far were the dagger board replacement, that was $500, and then this whole new setup was about $500. So we're in it for about $1,000 right now. But we have a functioning sailboat with all updated hardware and a brand new dagger board. So I think we're still in pretty good shape financially. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? Did I do a good job? Do you approve of the layout? Is there anything you would have done differently? I'm sure everybody will have, you know, their own comments and their own ideas of what they would have done, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy. I think it's gonna work. Again, guys, leave your comments below. If you feel like leaving me a tip, there's always the PayPal link now. You can become a patron, and there's some perks there if you want to do that. New year, I don't know. I might, like, again, I've mentioned in the past, might switch up the way patrons been going and do it on a per video deal instead of a month-to-month deal. But yeah, check out the website, Patreon, if you want to check that out. If you want to just shoot me a buck or two, feel free to click the PayPal link. Otherwise, just keep sharing these videos. Share with your friends, share the channel with your friends and family, sharing your social media, all that good stuff. Sharing definitely helps when you do that. And keep liking all the videos, keep commenting, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Yeah, thanks guys. As always, I really appreciate everything you're doing. We're really pushing this boat along, And while it's really cold today, all I can do is think about next year, and I think we're gonna get a really good jump on next season, and we're gonna have some good times. We'll talk about all the things I have planned in a future video. So for now, thank you guys very much, and all right, I'm gonna shut up. I tend to blabber on at the end of these videos. Bye.